Howdy, folks. Welcome to Retsutalk, episode 26. I have a very special guest with me. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Slowbeef. Nice to be here.
I'm just going to try to hype up each episode beforehand.
Okay, sounds good.
Just to kind of, get us into it, even if you're not a very special guest.
Well, aw.
Well, I mean, it's a series regular kind of thing.
Well, yeah.
But if I say special guest, then people might be like, huh?
And you mean like we might get more hits on the podcast from people already listening to it?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
Like they're going to hear special guest, and then they'll stop and tell all of their friends.
Right, they'll just be like, you'll never believe this!
There's a special guest on the Retsutalk podcast, eh?
You know this podcast you never heard of? Well, they got a special guest! Sign me up!
Bam. Number one video games podcast.
Boom. Fuck video games, we're taking down NPR.
Yeah. Not just video games, games and hobbies.
That's right, wow.
We're going for the gold.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because I think that's... Because we're under... Video games is under the umbrella of games and hobbies.
Sure.
On the iTunes.
This is really interesting, but you know what's even more interesting?
Yeah?
Miko's Cooking Mama Let's Play.
Well, let's just get into it. You've got Let's Plays to dish on.
I do. And by that I mean this one.
One.
No, actually, I tweeted about this. I thought this was a really cool concept. He's only one update in, but I like the concept that much. You know the game Cooking Mama?
I've heard of it, yeah.
You know you've played it. Oh,
okay.
I've played it. But, no, it's like a little cooking... I can't call it a tutorial game. It's like a series of mini-games, but it's really got fuck all to do with actual cooking. But Miko is doing a thing where he's combining the Goons with Spoons forum on Something Awful with the Let's Play forum, and basically after each recipe he makes in-game, he then makes it in real life in his kitchen, and, like, his friend and he, like, talk over how to make it, and, you know, crack wise and shit like that.
And then Gordon Ramsay's going to retsupurae his video?
That's exactly right. But,
okay.
Yeah. No, so I thought that was kind of a neat take on the Let's Play type of thing, so I like it.
How complicated are the dishes in Cooking Mama?
Like,
do they translate well to real life?
They can. Yes and no. So the one he made in episode 1 is curry rice, which is a Japanese kind of thing.
Right.
And, you know, or I'm sorry, curried pork. And we don't really make it the way the Japanese make it. They have, like, a curry roux thing, which are, like, these cubes of curry you throw into a big pot and, like, stir up the ingredients and such, you know?
Right.
Whereas for us, like, curry is, like, maybe, like, I think, like, a powdery spice kind of thing, or it can be, like, a sauce you make out of curry, you know what I mean? So it's kind of... So he kind of makes this, like, the Western version then, you know? And then...
Oh, so he cheats.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
Voting one. Moving on.
It's probably a wise idea.
Yeah, oh my god.
That's all I got on that one. That's all the only
So
Let's Plays
if you
I'm
want to watch video games and learn how to cook, impractical things.
What do you call it? Also, well, did we already talk about Chip and Ironicus's
Marriage?
marriage? No, oh yeah, Ironicus got married, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
He did.
Yeah. Good for him.
I wasn't there.
Welcome to the club.
He didn't even let me Skype into it.
I wouldn't have let you Skype into it.
How am I supposed to virtually catch the garter if I can't Skype into the wedding?
I would not have let you into Ironicus' wedding on Skype if I were the bouncer there. The Skype bouncer.
The bouncer? The wedding bouncer?
The wedding Skype bouncer, right. Who's not even allowed at the wedding, for the record. But
So you're the bouncer and 9 other people are on the call and you just kind of look intimidating on a video screen chat?
I don't even think that. I think basically I'm just more like that switchboard guy when you try to call into a radio show.
Okay.
You know, that kind of thing.
But dressed like a bouncer?
Bouncer is maybe a strong term for what I was going for.
No, we're running with it.
Oh, okay. No, but they're doing the Revengeance.
That's correct.
The Metal Gear Rising Let's Play. And you know what's funny? I really thought I would hate Metal Gear Rising, but now watching the Let's Play, I'm like, this game looks pretty fucking awesome, actually.
And you haven't gone out and gotten the game yet?
Not yet, no. I somehow have to go back to 2003 and tell my former self, like, you know, we're actually gonna like Raiden, and then get slapped by myself 10 years ago. You know, because that just seems so fucking ridiculous to me.
And how many times have you listened to Rules of Nature?
Like 1 million.
Mm-hmm. That's reasonable.
You know one thing I can't figure out he does? In the Metal Gear Ray fight at the beginning, I don't know how he does it, but you know the first phase of the fight where Ray kind of tries to hit Raiden with the arm and he blocks it with the sword for the finishing move before he cuts the arm off?
Oh, vaguely.
But, like, what happens is, so, as Chip explains, the game has dynamic music, and the vocal track usually comes in when you're, like, beating the boss pretty well with, like, boss music.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I can't tell if Chip did this because this run was perfectly timed or if the game did it, but it's, like, so fucking awesome because, like, he's about to finish the first fight of the Ray, and Chip goes, like, and you know what else this game has? Finishing moves. And right as he says that, the button prompt comes, Raiden blocks a sword, he's about to do the finishing move, and then Rules of Nature comes in. It's like this perfectly timed thing, and I've watched it over and over, like, I can't tell, did Chip do that? Is the game doing that? That's, like, incredible. And it happens a second time for the second phase of the Ray fight, too. He's putting all this shit in. He has a really cool rewind effect that took me a while. Well, I think you actually figured out how he did it. Where, like, he'll play a certain part of a stage one way to show you one way to do it, and then all of a sudden he has, like, a rewind effect with, like, a VHS rewind kind of sound, you know?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And then he'll play the same scene again in a different way, and I'm like, how the fuck? And it's like he's using checkpoints, I think, to do it, right? Yeah. No, I couldn't. It took me, like, a while, because I'm like, how could he have? And then you're like, checkpoints. Like, oh, yeah,
He's actually playing a haunted version
of
that's Revengeance, yeah.
That's how it goes, I see.
He's not going to live through that Let's Play.
I think the one thing about Revengeance is I wouldn't be very good at it. I'll typically kind of, like, brute force.
You probably wouldn't be.
Yeah. No, I brute force my way pretty much through, like, those Devil May Cry style games.
Yeah, no, you do have to, even though the combat mechanics aren't too complicated, you have to get a pretty good sense of them in order to, do. Like, I had no idea when I was first playing the game that you kind of had to counterattack things. Oh, and the tutorial doesn't do a very good job at communicating that to you.
Right, like the parry and all that.
Yeah, the parrying, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to parry if you want to beat enemies. And so, like, I think the first time you fight, like, a mech thing, what are they called? I can't remember.
Geckos?
Geckos. And a couple soldiers at the same time, and I kept dying over and over again, and yeah. Mm-hmm. If you don't parry, you're in trouble.
No, yeah, so, and he, like, includes, like, all little, like, combat tutorial things and such. Yeah. He's pretty much the best Let's Player out there. Well, no, I should say, he's pretty much, like, something I could never be. Oh, God. Oh, sorry.
And that's the podcast.
That's the podcast. Yeah. That's my Let's Play career.
So you would have him, he could mod Danganronpa then, right?
I would never do that to him. God. I actually tried to help that Let's Play yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was gonna I got the next update, and because the goon who usually does it, Hello Winter, she had the Phoenix Wright LP going.
God, it's like you're one of the people in Hollywood who get screeners of movies before they go out.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
Getting screener Let's Plays. Great job.
No, but she's on vacation, and Oren Runnan's like, I need somebody to subtitle the video, and I'm like, I can do it. And he's like, oh, great, thanks. And I told him later it's because I will do anything to move this fucking thread along. But somebody else did it anyway. So, but if you ever, she had a Phoenix Wright LP. I don't know if you ever followed it. Hello Winter.
I had heard of it, but I have not followed it.
Yeah. Before her, it was Mega 64 because Phoenix Wright used to be kind of considered the un-LPable kind of game.
Ah, yes.
Because there was no great way to do it because there's a ton of text which just doesn't translate very well to video. But then there's, like, a ton of music and audio cues, which obviously don't go well with screenshot. You ever play the Phoenix? Right. Yeah, sorry.
I did not. No.
You should. They're awesome.
I'm not a portable gamer.
They have, like, emulators now.
They
have an iOS version. I think, and I'm not 100% sure on Android. I know they definitely have iPhone, iPad. And they have Ghost Trick, too, for iOS, if you never played that, which is an awesome Capcom game.
How much will that run you?
I think Ghost Trick, I think they're each, like, 10. But you get Chapter 1 free on both. It's like an in-app purchase kind of deal.
Looking it up in the Apple Store right now.
Yeah.
Phoenix Wright, $5.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Get it, it's awesome. I haven't played, there's apparently also, Ace Attorney Investigations, where you play as Jorith the prosecutor, more or less, but that's supposed to be really good. I haven't done that either. And I have a bunch of copies of Professor Layton for the Professor Layton Phoenix Wright crossover game, which I stopped following news about. I don't even know if that's out or what, but I never played those, so they're still. So
you're really married?
Portable gaming is basically the only way you can do it.
It's the only way my marriage stays together.
My wife liked Heavy Rain, for what it's worth. She only saw like the first 20 minutes.
And she was sold on the first 20 minutes?
You have to understand, if you're not a video gamer, Heavy Rain's like something you can kind of like relate to in a way.
Yes, I can relate to walking around my house.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, when I'm playing Arkham City, you know, my wife is just not at all interested. You know,
I totally relate to Arkham City.
Well, you do, but if somebody doesn't give a shit about Batman, I mean, what can you do?
Divorce them?
Well, yeah. I mean, the lawyer said that's not grounds, actually, but... no, you know what I mean, though. Like, she, you know, if I started playing Metal Gear Rising to her, it's just a bunch of robots cutting shit. Which it kind of is, actually.
That's kind of awesome, though.
Some people don't like
robots
that
cutting shit? Oh.
What can I do? What can I do? We have very interesting entertainment tastes, but
robots cutting shit. Where's the dude chopping onions in the kitchen?
Well, that's the previous Let's Play I was talking about.
I want to tell my son about his dead bird. I don't want to disembowel robots and pull out their spines to absorb their energy.
I forgot.
I want to stick fight with my kids.
I forgot all about that. Some people, I don't know, they just want to know where the story's... I don't know. I was like, when she was like watching, she's like, I want to see more of this. I'm like, you really don't. Like, it gets bad.
You may be able to throw a gecko across the area you're in, but can you pee? I'll take Heavy Rain, thank you.
You got any more?
No, not right now. That's as much of the tutorials I remember. A couple of people have requested we retsupurae that game.
Heavy Rain?
All of Heavy Rain, yeah.
I'd like to.
Isn't like a single playthrough about 8 to 10 hours?
Yeah, so what? we did 7 hours of Darkseid 2.
Well,
and I mean, let's be fucking honest. Nothing really happens in that game. It's like, hey, did you talk to everyone in town? I mean, everyone? Twice? You know?
But the stuff that does happen
really
happens.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Have you played anything else recently?
No. That's it. Hotline Miami is my big one. I'm trying to 100% it right now.
We're a terrible video games podcast. We don't play anything. I know this dude who played this game.
According to our agenda, we have plenty to talk about, actually.
We do.
Yeah.
Well, I've been playing something recently.
Well, don't keep us in suspense.
There's the wind-up. Here comes the pitch. I've been playing a ROM hack of Final Fantasy VI.
Yes!
Yeah!
Nice.
Fastball strike!
Take it! How's, let me start with why?
Well, Final Fantasy VI is one of those games from my childhood that I really liked, but it's also one of those games that I don't think holds up very well. I think it's a difficult game to try to revisit if you're feeling nostalgic.
I hear that.
I don't think it's all that great.
I feel similarly. I think, well, you know, it was Final Fantasy 3 to us growing up.
Oh, here we go.
And it came on, I know, but you know, it came on the heels of 2, which is really 4, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, Danganronpa.
The one thing I just didn't like as much about 3 as I did, or 6 as I did 4, whatever, is in 4-2 with Cecil and the Red Wings and all that shit, characters could die and join your party, and it was part of the story, and it kind of helped, I guess, like, the tension of, or, I don't know, tension, but, like, it helped the story because you didn't know what was going to happen next. 6, like, everyone kind of stays with you with, like, one possible exception, you know?
Right, and not only that, but Final Fantasy VI began the trend where everybody could learn everything. So anybody could equip any Esper, everybody could become, like, the party members all congeal into this amalgam of sameness when you get to the end game.
Let's see how deep into nerdhood I can go. Because if I remember correctly, Final Fantasy V, starring Bartz or Butts or whatever his name is, had a job system where you could assign each party member whatever job they'd like.
Right.
And you could level up that job, learn some skills, and switch out the job to something else. So everybody could ostensibly learn everything.
Ostensibly, yes, but in 5, you still need to relegate each person to some kind of role.
Okay.
Like, if you can have people be the same, but it kind of makes the game harder.
Okay.
Whereas in 6, everybody becomes the same, and that's because, not because they have one set of skills versus another set of skills, it's because they have all of the skills.
But they do have a differentiator, if I remember, in 6, right? Where, like, Cyan's got sword tech and...
Yeah. Well, that's another thing that's... Like, some of the secondary abilities that people have are inherently useless. Like, Cyan and his sword tech, it takes a year to charge up once you learn all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just no reason to really use him when you have someone else with another set of skills like Tools or Blitz that you can use immediately, very easily, and that do a lot of damage.
Yeah, but isn't Cyan, like, awesome?
No.
Oh. I remember...
I mean, his character is neat.
Mm-hmm.
You could... Some people might say.
Sure.
But, no, if you want to use this high-level sword text, you have to wait. Like, by the time you get to it, like, each other party member will have had 2 or 3 turns worth of their ATB.
Wow. And by then you've at least heard that horrible Kefka laugh like 4 times.
Oh, yes, that haunting Kefka laugh.
It's funny because I made fun of him. I did like Kefka as a villain. Especially...
He had a certain charm about him.
And it's kind of neat because you don't really think of him as the villain right away.
Yeah.
Because it's mostly like Emperor Gestal and stuff, but then Kefka kind of comes to the forefront.
Yeah, it's very Star Warsian kind of thing.
Yeah. The one thing I hated, they re-released Final Fantasy VI for the PlayStation, and they added, like, CG to it.
Yeah, that was pretty dumb.
Yeah, because then they made Kefka into, like, literally like like the Joker, more or less.
Yeah.
Which is, like, why? Like, because his sprite didn't really look like that.
And it also had random slowdown. So it was easier to play on the SNES than it was on the PlayStation.
That's kind of incredible.
Yeah. So they fucked up something pretty bad.
Well, apparently the PlayStation wasn't really great for, like...
Gaming.
Sprite-based gaming, I was going to say. Although now that I think about it. Because you only have so much memory you have to load textures off the CD with, more or less, you know? Because I remember there was, Marvel vs. Capcom. It was one of those games with the roster where you had 2 people you could swap out. And if I remember correctly, the PlayStation version, it actually had to load off CD if you want to swap characters. So there was like a wait. Maybe I'm misremembering that. It was like, not X-Men versus... I feel like it was one of the Marvel vs. Capcom. Not Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but like... I don't know. Am I just spitballing here? Maybe that doesn't
I don't know. Let me read Mortal Kombat.exe. Maybe that'll shed some light on it.
Hey, preview.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. But anyway, you're playing a ROM hack of 6, you're saying.
Yeah, it's called Brave New World. And the idea behind the ROM hack enticed me a little bit. And I thought, yeah, kind of in the mood to play Final Fantasy VI. So if I'm going to do it, I'll try it in a different way, see if it works. So what this ROM hack does is it fixes a lot of things that are wrong. Like, first of all, the obvious things like the bugs. You remember in FF6 how evade just did nothing?
How what? Oh, evade.
The evade stat was useless. It didn't work. Instead, it was tied into your magic evade. So if you had that high, you'd be impossible to hit, basically.
You know, it's funny. I was really bad at RPGs, even though I liked the Final Fantasies growing up, and I would just kind of grind for levels and not really worry about the stats too much. It's like,
you're one of those people.
Can I kill that boss yet? No. All right, I'll just kill some imps.
The ROM hack, so what it does is it makes it, kind of like I was saying earlier, where party members have more defined roles, and it does that by having them only be compatible with certain espers. So, like, Sabin, for instance, he can learn a little bit of support magic here and there. Like, each character can only use 1, 2, maybe 3 espers max.
Did you mean Sabin?
I say Sabin. I talked about this in a stream I did of the game a few days ago.
Oh.
I said Sabin, and some people in the chat were still like S-A-B-E-E-N. I was like, Sabine? It sounds dumb.
Or Sabin. Like
Sabin? That still sounds dumb.
I've been there.
I'm Team Sabin. And most of the chat agreed with me.
Let's see what it was in Japanese.
Twitch TV/Diabetus. Tune in.
Sabin's Japanese name is... here we go. No.
Here we go.
We'll go to good old Final Fantasy.wiki. Alright, and I don't know, who cares?
I will suplex you.
Is that left, right, left? I forget.
It's XY down up.
Japanese name. His name is Mash in the Japanese version.
That's even more stupid.
That really is. I'm glad we could agree on that.
Yeah.
Alright.
Do the monster Sabin. But yeah, the ROM hack's pretty fun. It makes it a little bit more difficult. The enemy AI has been tweaked very heavily. And, you know, like I said, party members are more important, or have more importance than they may have had before. Cyan, they fixed his sword tech thing. It's called Bushido now. Thank God.
Of course, yes.
And it charges incredibly fast now, so he's as useful as anyone else in the party could potentially be. So you kind of have to plan out, do you want to heal? If you want a healer, only some people learn the healing spells. If you want offensive magic people, only some people know that stuff. It tweaked the script a little bit. Some fixes are okay, some fixes are dumb. Kefka's dropping a lot more F-bombs in this hack, which I think takes away from the charm of him as a villain a little bit.
Oh, they changed all the dialogue and such?
A fair bit of it, yeah.
So Kefka's cursing?
Yeah, he's saying some fucks and some shits here and there a fair bit. A little excessive for my tastes.
That's interesting. Why?
I don't know. Well, to be fair, some things didn't translate too well in the original script. Like, some of the dialogue was weird. Or didn't make sense.
And apparently a lot of liberties are taken with it.
Yeah.
Because I think, I've read about that guy Woosley, I think his name was, Ted Woosley.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but, like, some things he changed, like, just don't exist at all in the original script. It's just, like, he just took complete liberty with some stuff, you know? Well, that gets into that whole, like, translation, localization kind of thing, you know?
What would you know about that?
Well, it's funny, because we were going to parlay from ROM hacking, but, you know, I was involved in a translation ROM hack.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Are we ever going to Let's Play that?
Yeah, I really want to, maybe even this week, but, next week maybe, because I'm pretty busy, but,
Let's double dip. Let's do that while we record the podcast.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll talk more about it when we actually do the Let's Play, but yeah, so...
Take audio from previous Let's Plays we've done and put it over a Police Knots walkthrough.
Exactly.
We can save a lot more time that way.
Yeah. So yeah, for those who don't know, I was the lead programmer on the Police Knots translation project, which is Hideo Kojima's game before Metal Gear Solid. Never brought here to America. Anyway.
Are you trying to cast sleep on me, Slowbeef? Because it's working.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. All that magical evade versus evade stat shit, that was the really hot. Heavy Rain sucks. Let's talk about ROM hack video game stats.
That's what the people came to see.
Kefka's cursing now. What up? Fuck, now I completely lost my place. We got some shit for that, too, actually.
For what?
For Police Knots, our translation.
Oh, for putting duty stuff?
No, kinda. No, it was more like, so, whenever you translate shit, fan translations, from Japanese to English, you had these, like, two extremes where there's these people who say everything has to be very literal and true to the Japanese script to completely capture the author's intent, and then you have normal people who are like, that can't work, ever, and shouldn't work that way.
Yeah, I remember I tried another ROM hack of FF6. This was longer ago, and that was pretty much what the hacker did, was do a pretty much literal translation of the script, and it was the dullest dialogue that I've ever seen in anything. I'd quit very quickly.
But you just can't. Like, you know, there's just some stuff that does not translate. The phrase lost in translation exists for a reason. And the thing is, if you ever do watch, like, fan sub stuff, or sometimes or even, like, fan mangas when they translate them, they have all these, like, a translator notes in the middle of it that just tell you, you know, hey, this really means this, you can't really translate, you know what I mean?
I gotcha.
So, like, the easiest example of that is Metal Gear Solid 3. Do you remember Volgin, the villain?
Of course. Oh, yeah.
Do you remember he says, Kuwabara, Kuwabara?
Yeah.
So that's
his catchphrase.
Yeah, it's meaningless in English.
He had his own talk show. That's what he would say every time he came out from the curtain.
That's actually what the name of the show would be. It's Kuwabara with an exclamation.
Welcome back to Kuwabara, Kuwabara.
Welcome back to Kuwabara. And then he, like, electrocutes his first guest. Here we have...
Say what you will, but he gets ratings.
Here we have Ron Paul, but first I want to let you know my body can generate 1,000,000 volts of electricity. Anyway, I don't know why I picked Ron Paul there, by the way, whatever.
That's fine.
Now it's a political cast.
He's the go-to talk show guest.
Yeah, Ron Paul is our next 3 items on the agenda, by the way.
And he's our guest on the next podcast.
This is now a libertarian podcast. No, yeah. Alright, so, you know what that all means, really? Kuwabara, or what it's supposed to, or...
Yeah, it means gold standard.
No. It's, what is it? Oh, mulberry bush. Because there's this, like, old Japanese folklore thing where if you feel like you're about to get struck by lightning, if you say mulberry bush, like, you won't be, because it has something to do with some old tale where, like, a mulberry bush gets struck by lightning, you know? Because, like, one of those things you just say for luck.
Oh, yeah, I do that all the time.
Right, but there's no, like, one word or line way of conveying that in English. Unless you just have Villigan say something like, I hope I don't get struck by lightning. You know, like, so...
I wish he did say that, though.
Right. Like, so, you know, with his character, it's a little menacing that he's taken this kind of kid's phrase and sort of he's this master of electricity, and that kind of makes sense, but there's just nothing you can do in English about it, you know? I mean, and that's a specific case where the translators just opted not to translate it. So you have this Russian guy saying a weird Japanese thing. But, like...
But it works in the end.
Yeah, but, I mean, the rest of the script works, like, better because you do eventually have to, like... You do have to switch things up a little to make it clearer to Western audiences and such, you know what I mean?
Right.
Right. I mean, you can go a little, like... Or Phoenix Wright's another good example, because Phoenix Wright, the original game, very clearly takes place in Japan. And the American version, they try to make... Or the Western version, I should say, they try to make it take place in California, more or less. And they sort of joke about it. Like, you go to a Japanese village, and they make some kind of, like, joke, like, what's this doing in You know, if I remember... You know what I mean?
Arnold Schwarzenegger's there.
Right, yeah. Exactly, yes. But, like, the one character used to be obsessed with, like, rice balls, and now in the Western version she's obsessed with hamburgers, you know? Mm. Which is, like, just sort of a cosmetic change, and I guess it doesn't necessarily need to be there, except maybe it is, I don't know, weird more or less. I don't know, you know? Maybe that is the other extreme, where you say, like, people just change things needlessly, or you have Woosley who just inserts things for no good at all. But, we got flack for really crazy things, like, things that I would consider to be completely off the wall. Like, one character is the daughter of Ed and Catherine in Police Knots, and her name is Anna, and we spelled it A-N-N-A. And it's spelled that way in the promotional materials, but the kana for it is ah-na, which... this guy Gemini, who really should have known better, because even I was like, that's crazy, said, shouldn't that be A-N-A? Like, ana? Like, anal? Like, what are you talking about? No.
Gross.
I know, it's crazy. But, I don't know, people, like, seem to like that sort of thing, I guess, where it's like, no, I want to know exactly what the original Japanese writer said, and it's like, well, there's really no way to do that unless you go study the fucking language. Like,
my daughter, Ana, found this offensive.
Right. Well, I mean, I would have if I were Anna. But, or like, we got in trouble, too, because we switched around 2 lines, meaning that, and I mean, actually, like, it was first sentence, second sentence, and it was just changed to second sentence, first sentence. You know what I mean? Because it just flowed better in English if you said the other thing first.
You are breaking all the rules,
I know!
They're like, you're the maverick of translating.
That's so fucking inaccurate. And then, like, one guy's like, what is this, fan fiction? And it's like, no, what? What are you talking about? But, I don't know.
Someone comes in and throws the translator rulebook in your face. You're a loose cannon, beef.
So basically, I'm never doing another translation project again. Except for my newest one, Dead of the Brain. Come see it. No,
okay.
But anyway, yeah, I would like to start that Let's Play. So ROMhacking in general is just kind of an odd thing. I like translation projects because I think they're interesting. Some of the level editor stuff, like Super Mario, like the Super Mario ROM hacks, which we've talked about, you know, it's like, okay, I think if you want to play around with game design and things like that, here's your level editor and engine already done for you, so I guess I see that, you know. Then there's stuff like, here, I put a dick on Mario's face, which I'm not quite sure about, you know, but...
That's art.
Okay.
That's art.
I see.
Actually, the day after I did the first stream of Brave New World, the ROM hacker contacted me the next day.
Oh, cool.
He sent me a message. I guess it somehow word got to him about it, and he watched the archive and then sent me a long message about it. A very nice message.
Actually, that's an interesting flavor of ROM hack, too, where you take an RPG or a strategy game and you redo it so the rules work better.
Yeah, or try to fix things that you perceive weren't done right.
Mm.
Or instead of looking back with rose-colored glasses, you look back with analytical glasses. Like, what would I... Or maybe it's the approach of, what would make this game more fun for me to play if I were releasing it? And now that you have the power to do so, and you can share that vision with other people.
And I have to give them credit from the technical aspect, because I can tell you just doing Japanese to English is hard enough as well, but when you're just like looking at like save states, which are all just numbers, and trying to figure out what numbers affect the other numbers, in like mathematical formulas compiled into binary, I mean, it's so easy. No wonder everybody like wants to do it. But no, that's one guy, Arcale. Did you ever hear of him? He made Final Fantasy Tactics, I think version 1.3.
I've heard of that game, yeah.
He joined the forums, actually, when someone tried to Let's Play it. and it's a super hard version of Tactics. But
yeah, I've read a synopsis of it, and yeah, it looks insanely difficult. Like, so insanely difficult that I think it would be too much of a barrier for entry, even for like somebody who likes Final Fantasy Tactics and wants to try something else. Just
well, apparently he actually toned it down due to the Let's Play on SA.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There were certain very questionable decisions he made. In fact, and I'll even say I think one of them in particular I thought was a pretty stupid idea. But
yeah, having a Ron Paul class,
right,
just doesn't make sense.
No, but he did like fix a lot of the stuff that's broken. Or, I mean, I played Tactics in college, but I didn't get super into it. But people who have
got really into it.
Oh yeah, there's
back in the day. Oh yeah, that's probably one of my top 3 Final Fantasies.
Oh wow.
2. Yeah.
What are your other top Final Fantasies?
I don't know if I would put 6 up there anymore. Just looking back on it, 9 I think might hold up. I haven't gone back and played that one. 9 kind of went back to form a little bit.
Yeah, Zidane and all that.
Yeah. Very charming game, I thought.
I agree.
Yeah. 5, I like the job system thing. So
I never really played 5. I played a fan translation of 5 back in the day for a bit, but I never really got into it.
I have Final Fantasy X too, and I was wondering if doing a Let's Play of it would be fun, because I think it's a fun combat game, but everything else about it is...
Oh, it's crazy fun, the combat. It's just
everything else about the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it draws this really severe ire from people that kind of posting that you don't really want to put on yourself to have to deal with or read. So
I think somebody had done it. I want to say maybe Kung Fu Jesus.
It was the Tipping 40s guys, wasn't it? Didn't they do that?
I think maybe they did out, and I want to say there was an earlier one too. But possibly Tipping 40s did it. Yeah, if I remember. Yeah. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, they did do it. No, 10 had it was a ridiculously fun combat system, but yeah. I mean, what else is there? What were we talking
about? Other Final Fantasy games?
What are we talking about? Yeah. Let's go Final Fantasy real quick.
Final Fantasy. Well, okay. So 1, 2, and 3. I played the DS remake a little bit, but didn't really care for it. 4, I never finished. It was okay, I thought.
I liked 1.
Never played 1.
Never played 1?
Never played 1.
It's fun. I liked it because it was one of the first RPGs, or really games that I played on Nintendo, where you had like changing goals. I mean, you more or less had to light the 4 crystals, but to do so, it's like, okay, you got to go save this princess. Now you got to go find this witch's crystal. Now pirates are taking over this town. Things like that. So it's like you always were kind of like, I wonder what I have to do next. Which sort of led the way for 4, which is R2, which had a story with like characters that came in and out of the cast and things like that.
Right.
Yeah. And I like that a lot. And then 6 we talked about.
7 was released on Steam recently.
7, I feel like, is the controversial Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
It's probably, in a way, the peak of the series.
In terms of popularity, for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. It's like, it was the biggest, like a huge, like, title for PlayStation. It was, And I really liked it when I played it back when I was like,
I did too.
18. Yeah, it was like,
although
awesome.
Even then, I remember like my friend and I would play, played it, and we had seen the commercials, all the hype. We were insanely excited, and the moment that Cloud jumps out of that train, you see his weird blocky Popeye arms. even as young as we were like, really?
I kind of forgave.
Kind of shitty looking.
I forgave that. One thing I never understood is why anyone ever liked Darius. That just completely goes over my head. I don't get it. Like, when she gets killed off, I'm just like, good, like, whatever. Like, again, though, I was one of those people, like, I
get her materia back, right?
I didn't even bother with that. I don't like healers. I'm like, I have potions for that. Who gives a fuck? So...
Whoa.
Hey.
Stunning opinions coming out on Retsutalk.
I just want to hit hard. That's...
You thought that Police Knots controversy was bad? Just wait till this gets out.
No, what do you call it? I didn't really give a shit about Red 13. I thought he was kind of a weird character.
Yeah. Actually, I see what you mean about the whole healing thing, because, the only thing that really differentiates the characters are their limit breaks.
Right.
And Eris's are all, like, healing and support stuff, but you can only use them when she's been hurt enough to actually use them, and then you can't use it again for a while, so...
Yeah.
Why do that when you can use other healing stuff whenever you want?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember about the limit breaks till you mentioned them now. No, I liked most of the characters. It's just, Eris, I don't know why everyone made such a big deal about her. Red 13 I thought was kind of I liked Kate Sith, or Ketshi, depending on...
Oh, okay, don't do that.
No, it's the Gaelic name.
Just call him Kate Sith.
But it's Irish, it's not
just
like...
Come on, don't be that guy.
It's not like...
No,
okay,
no one likes
fine,
that.
Whatever, Kate Sith. I liked him. I don't even remember who the hell else there was, Barrett.
There was Vincent Valentine,
Oh,
who
fuck
was so
him.
popular he had his own spin-off
How?
game that was a big...
No, he was like the secret... He was like Boba Fett, but like... Less so.
I don't get that. He was a completely optional character. You didn't have to get him, and then he gets his own game.
Why?
He's so popular.
Who liked him? He didn't... And there's stuff about him, too. People...
Was there some period in gamer mentality history where the emo aloof character was everybody's favorite? Because, the Final Fantasy, after that, you had Squall, who was the same kind of dude.
You already had an emo aloof guy. It was Cloud.
Well, Cloud, he wasn't really that emo and aloof
later
in the game.
He was until Sephiroth comes in. Because remember before, people are like, oh, we're going to kill the Mako reactor. He's like, I don't give a shit. I want my money. He's telling Wet I want to know your names. Whatever. And it's like he kind of cares a little, but not really. And then when Sephiroth comes in, he's like, oh, shit, we got to do something. And then
then he gets almost kind of goofy at times later.
Mm-hmm.
His character.
God. It's funny because thinking back on it then, I'm like, why don't... It's such like a weird story, because I don't even remember, like, certain aspects of it were so confusing, and...
Yeah, a lot of it didn't translate very well, or lots of things got cut, I guess, from the dialogue, that, there's a lot of things you just kind of have to know or pay very, very close attention to, or you can easily miss the significance of what happens.
Right.
That's why I would recommend you read Elentor's, is that his name?
Oh, yeah.
Elentor is doing a screenshot LP of it. I think I talked about it many, many podcasts ago, but it's still ongoing. Mm-hmm. But he does a very good job at calling out where important things happen and then kind of helping translate the translation, so to help get the meaning across more effectively.
I'll have to take a look at that.
It's a really good way to re-experience the game without actually having to play it.
You know what it was, too, in the West, now that I'm thinking about it, is Final Fantasy always seemed to kind of keep topping itself. With when you talk about our 1, 2, 3, 7, which is really 1, 4, 6, 7, whatever.
Okay.
But, like, they were always kind of leaps and bounds above each other. Obviously, 1 to 4, you had the SNES to the Nintendo to Super Nintendo transition, and you had, like I said, story characters changing rather than just goals. And then 6 had kind of like a bigger story. It was a little grander in scale. There's like a whole
it was much more ambitious.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
In terms of what actually happens too, very unprecedented things for a JRPG.
Yeah, and it kind of drops Final Fantasy sort of like, here's your 4, 8, whatever crystals that you have to collect. Now it's just like its own kind of thing. And then 7, you have graphically, you have the upgrade to 3D. It's on top of like computer-generated movies. It's bigger. It's got this soundtrack,
Keeps the active time battle thing going on, but really changes the combat mechanics a lot.
Yeah. And 8's the first one where it was like, it's better, but not leaps and bounds better.
Maybe. I did like how in 8, leveling was a little discouraged almost.
Mm-hmm.
Since enemies would just be whatever level that you were.
Right.
In any area. So grinding wasn't as much of a way to cheat, I guess.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word.
I hear that.
But then you had that card game that... I didn't care for that card game.
I like Triple Triad.
You like the random rule? Don't let that rule infect your world.
I don't really remember the random rule.
It's random.
Oh. Okay.
So,
let's see here. 8. The story in 8 I didn't really care for at all.
8 is where it tried to get the whole... Like, you had little hints of love stories happening, and, 7, you had the relationship with Cloud Aerith and Cloud Tifa. There were some undertones there. In 6, you had Locke and Celeste. They had kind of a thing going on, but it was very subtle and very much in the background.
Right.
And then 8, they're like, we need a love story now.
Right. Well, I think 10...
And everyone has amnesia, and it makes no sense.
Oh, yeah, and they all knew each other and forgot.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid.
I hate that plot twist. In general, I mean.
Yeah, well, it's pretty lazy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's odd. Yeah, Yeah, I didn't like it now that I'm thinking back on it too much. It had better graphics. I think the combat system was... It was just ATB, right? But you had the whole Guardian thing.
Yeah, it was ATB, but then instead of, like, learning magic a traditional way, it would come and go depending on what you had, or not come and go, but you would instead of having MP, you had amounts of it.
Okay.
Because you would draw it from people.
Yeah.
And then depending on the quantity of the magic that you have, if you tie it to a stat, that stat goes up.
Yeah. Whatever, who gives a shit. Then you had 9.
I liked the system in 8, just going back to that real quick, just because it's really, really exploitable, and there's some crazy things you can get insanely overpowered, like at the very, very beginning of the game, which is pretty neat that you can do that.
Right.
So yeah, 9 was a return to form in a lot of ways, kind of like drawing back from what made 4 good, I think.
I never really finished it, not for any good reason. I didn't even get that far in it, honestly, but it seemed...
The story in 9 I have the most trouble remembering.
I don't like that the character had a tail.
Yeah, that was...
He was, if I remember from what I played of it, he was part of like a pirates thing with an airship, and they were going to go kidnap a princess, and she had that big cartoony purple queen mother, the queen.
Oh, yeah.
And I think as far as I got, Steiner, the night guy, was chasing after you, is on your airship. I don't...
So you didn't get very far then?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Then I'm thinking back on it. Oh, and the forest people turned to stone?
Something like that. And then the bad guy is another dude with a tail.
Oh, I don't remember that at all. So 9 sucked.
Something about clones, yeah.
Oh, wow, that sounds awful. Oh, no, that's right. What's his face? The wizard. Vivi. The Black Knight.
V was cool.
Yeah.
I was down with V.
Because he looked like a Final Fantasy 1 Black Wizard guy with the hat and all. Wow, this is a nerdy fucking podcast, dude.
Yeah, a return to form.
Yes, it was. 10 I did like, if I remember. I did finish that.
You know what? You're right. This is nerdy. Let's go back to talking about ROMhack translations.
I was just... Oh, okay, yeah.
Let's get back to the cool kid talk.
Yeah, no, that was a completely serious thing I just said. 10... I like 10.
10 is where I think the old battle systems kind of show their age a lot more.
You know, it was kind of funny. I said, I like 10, and then I thought, what about Blitzball? And I'm like, oh,
well, okay. And the plot was, I think, one of the weaker ones.
Well...
And the bar isn't even that high, because it's Final Fantasy games, but the plot was just like...
Okay. You know what I kind of liked and then hated? So you have Jecht and Titus, right? That whole relationship where he hates his father.
Of course.
The end of the game, I really thought this was well done at first, where you have to fight him because he's really sin and all that shit. And he's trying to, like, talk and joke with you. Like, the father is like, you're like, you've gotten big. And he's like, well, I am sin. And he's like, that's not funny. And it's, like, this awkward kind of moment. He's like, yeah, I know. And it was kind of, like, awesome. Because you have this notion of this guy who really hates his, like, dad and stuff. And he has to kill him. And then just as everybody goes, Dad, I hate you and stuff. He goes, I know. And it's, like, really awkward and kind of, like, real. Like, you know how usually with games like that, they have to have some big redeeming moment where it's like, no, I loved you all along, or I really wanted to... It's almost like you have this guy who's like, yeah, I really did kind of fuck up as a parent. You know, it's like, wow, that's really interesting. And then, of course, at the end, when you kill him, Titus like, wait, no, and reaches over and you're like, no, you just undid everything. Fuck you, Final Fantasy X, you know, so...
Of course, then Final Fantasy X-2 pretty much undoes all that by letting you just bring back Titus at the end.
Spoilers. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, no.
It's so ridiculous. Is that supposed to be a spoiler? Because it's so fucking clearly him at the beginning, where it's like a shadow with the same voice actor that looks
same clothes,
just looks just fucking like him, and it's like, wonder where they're going with this one. I never played 11.
And they could never say his name because he was the only person. It was the first voice-acted Final Fantasy game, and you could rename Titus, but no one else. So no one would ever actually say his name. So in 10-2, Ian was always just like, could that be him?
Oh Jesus! What? All right, stupid.
But I did like the battle system of 10 a lot.
I like the leveling up system, the sphere grid.
Yeah, that was well done. The whole combat thing I liked a lot.
Same. Blitzball we didn't need.
Yeah. I had a friend who was obsessed with Blitzball. Like, he loved it. And I have no idea why, but he, like, grinded his Blitzball team to, like, level 9 billion. And would just destroy everything. And it was just like, you don't get any... Like, this was well after he got Wakka's weapon, which is the only reason you play Blitzball.
Yeah, that's why I played it. I did. Because I remember grinding it at one point, and I was like, and then I'm like, yeah, that's right, Wakka.
Yeah, but he went above and beyond.
Not a big Wakka fan, either. Hey,
You don't like Bender? You know, like John DiMaggio?
Oh, that's him?
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Same guy.
Did you ever, what was it? Did you ever figure out between 10 and 10-2 what happened to Lulu and who this new pain person is who's kind of like her but not really?
Well, Lulu got knocked up, I think, by Waka.
Uh-huh.
Waka Waka! And, I don't know who Pain is.
Okay. That was like, yeah.
But with her name like that, you know she kicks ass.
I was just remembering, Lulu wore a really low-cut fur coat, right?
Yes.
What the fuck is up with that?
It's typical Black Mage garb.
Oh, okay.
You know, what Vivi wore was in fashion for a while, and then what Lulu brought a new thing.
I need 2/3 of my body really fucking warm in this tropical climate.
It's how you concentrate your magical aura.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand. Fur coat. What a jerk.
So then after that was 11, which was an MMO.
I never played it.
Really bad.
I've heard that.
I had a friend who played it. He was obsessed with all the Final Fantasies, and I no.
Do you ever hear of Pandemonium Warden, that whole thing? With 11?
That sounds like something I've heard of.
It's like, they made this boss that's apparently so fucking hard to kill. Like, these people planned a raid on it, and I think they stayed up, like, 36 to 48 hours trying it before, like, one guy felt like he was going to pass out, and they're like, we have to give up. And
that whole time was spent fighting the boss?
Yeah.
Wow.
They, like, drafted up this whole essay, like, this is, like, a problem in your game if we can't kill this boss after 48 hours. But, because, like, apparently, and then kind of reading it, first you're kind of like, who the fuck stays up 2 days fighting a boss? And then you start reading the essay and you're like, wait, why did they do this? Like, this, apparently it's got a chance to completely heal itself, like, every, like, I don't know, like, hour or so. Like, it can kind of just undo everything you've done just out of nowhere at times. It, like, keeps spawning, like, really high-level bosses as guardian kind of enemies, you know? And they were just like, this is not possible to do, you know? And I heard, like, a year later or so, like, Square finally, like, nerfed it or whatever, but...
Just in time.
Yeah. Yeah, thank God. We were all asking for that.
Finally. I'm gonna renew my subscription.
But, if I remember, too, 11 took place in some world that they used for Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Ivalice.
That was 12. Or maybe 11 did that also.
Oh, wait, maybe you're right. I don't know. 12, I did play a little at 12. That's the weird system where you had, like, the Donnie Darko things, except they came out of its head and pointed to the enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Heavily inspired by Donnie Darko.
Right, yes. I kind of remember 12.
I did not finish 12.
Me neither. I think I only played a little bit of it.
Yeah. It was okay. I don't know.
13, I've heard mixed things.
I did not play 13.
Neither
did
I.
Mostly bad things.
Yeah. I've heard, like, the tutorial lasts, like, 20 hours or some weird shit like that.
Great.
Yeah, and then...
Sold. Well, apparently 13 was popular enough that it spawned a 13-2 or a 13 versus.
Yeah, and then they're coming out with Lightning Returns, which is like 13.3, I suppose.
Yeah. So apparently the game was a massive success.
Oh, did you hear about the controversy of Lightning Returns?
What's the controversy?
So they had an interview, and they're like, what new changes are there? And apparently the head game designer guys were like, well, we made Lightning's boobs bigger. She's up to a D cup now. And he actually says something like, we've added jiggle physics. You can best see it if you put the camera like this, use a small shield, and attack.
These are the developers?
Yes!
Just talking about this?
Yes, in an interview, the actual developers. And then they go, after the jiggle part, they go, so look forward to that. Okay, well, alright.
We've been grinding for quite a while. Lightning strikes twice.
Oh my god. That's ridiculous.
Wow, okay.
We want to take a page from the Dead or Alive series, because that's been going really well.
We know what our Final Fantasy fans want.
You've always come for Final Fantasy as part of the softcore porno aspect of it.
So we're having Lightning wear Lulu's clothing.
Well, actually, yeah, I guess there is a little precedent there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the new controversy. I mean, for me, I don't care, because I'm never going to play it, and nothing outside of my world space matters. No, I'm kidding. But
but I will translate it.
Oh, yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
14, I think, is going to be another MMO, too, right?
Yeah, I think they've already announced 15.
Oh, good. I don't care anymore. I used to love the Final Fantasy games. Now I'm just kind of
Yeah.
I'll like watch with passing interest, but I haven't seen one that I'm like, I should really get that, you know.
No, none of the new ones are doing it for me.
I wonder, maybe do you think you just grow out of RPGs?
Yeah, I was about to say maybe it's just JRPGs just falling out of favor with me.
Yeah, and also like
for games I can just kind of like pick up and play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the concept of something it's like you need to spend like, I don't know, a half hour preparing for a half hour of gameplay kind of thing. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
And I know the later games got a little better with where it's more like strategy and your builds and shit like that, but I don't know. I feel like, too, it's like a typical JRPG is like 20, 40 hours, or maybe 40 hours even.
About 40, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, that is such a fucking time sink now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We live in a busy world.
That's the thing. Yeah, I never really got into, like, Western RPGs, you know, at all.
Like the Fallouts?
Oh, Fallout I liked a lot. I did play a lot of Fallout 1. 2 I played a little, and I didn't have it, so whatever. But I liked Fallout a ton. In fact...
I tried Fallout 3, but it's just one of those things that I talked about before. It's just, like, too open-ended for me.
I like 3 a lot, except I fucked up the beginning, and I want to play it again, but then I never got back into it. And I have New Vegas wrapped still.
New Vegas was $2.50 during the Steam sale, but I didn't pick it up.
I have it for Xbox or whatever. Yeah. But, yeah, it sucks because there's one part, apparently, from people that talk about Fallout 3 that everybody kind of messes up. Where, you know Megaton? The town with the nuclear bomb?
Yeah.
Do you remember there's a guy who asks you can, like, do a quest where you can blow up Megaton? Or you can go tell the sheriff about him?
Didn't get that far.
Oh, forget it then. That's like at the beginning.
I barely got out of the vault before I was like, I don't like this.
You were just soothed to sleep by Liam Neeson's fatherly voice?
I was.
Well, I don't blame you.
And then he fought wolves. That's The Grey, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is The Grey?
Some Liam Neeson movie.
Oh. I only know him from Batman Begins.
Your Fallout character has a certain set of skills.
Wow, we really got derailed on Final Fantasy chat, didn't we?
Yeah.
At
least we'll never have to talk about that again.
Can I bring up one thing, because I know we're starting to get close to the hour mark?
Go for it.
A while back on Facebook, I had mentioned a thing about, people called Retsutalk or whatever, right? Or I had talked to like 3 people who are just random fans of ours. And it was all really cool. I ended up losing my audio from it, which is just stupid of me, because I fucked things up. But I really want to talk to the same 3 people I talked to again. And maybe as, like, just tried and true, just, like, come on the podcast with us. Because, especially the first guy, this guy Gamma.
Is that the one you talked a lot of game design chat about?
Yeah, he's from Portugal, and he actually has his own gaming podcast there. Because I expected to talk to him for, like, 10 minutes, and we ended up, like, talking for, like, half hour, 35 minutes, you know? And I feel bad because, like, the other guy, Black Hawk Omega, I plugged his brother's channel and then lost the audio, so he's probably like, hey, Retsuplay plugged your channel, and then... Oh, hey, I thought they
now
did.
His channel's, it's been canceled.
and actually he was taken out and back and murdered by YouTube executives. No, but, so that, yeah, and, Clock, I don't know if, what...
Clock?
Well, this person who's, contributed fan art to us and stuff, too, I don't know what her stance on having her name publicized is, kind of thing, so I'm just going by her, the username she gave me.
Clock.
Sure, but we talked a bit about Cyber Dream stuff. So anyway, I'd like to do that again at some point soon. So I haven't forgotten. I just fucked up the audio. And
so what do people do? Tweet at you?
Sure. Yeah, or contact me on Skype again. Either
Visit your new house.
Just come over.
Yeah.
Say hi. Come to my basement, aka studio.
Oh my god.
What else we got? Do you want to pad out in the last 3 minutes with?
Well, trying to think about the timing of this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll have posted my Monday video.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just go ahead and say it. We're trying to get back into noir.
Yeah, we'll have posted Tuesday by then, yep.
Yeah, oh yeah, that'll go up Tuesday. The video version of this will go up Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Scheduling is complicated.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
Yeah. I have to thank Lotax again for helping me out with my audio on the Monday video, the House of Horrors video. He's really getting into Let's Play now.
Apparently so.
Yeah. He's like...
He's been experimenting with scare cam things.
Yeah.
He's actually pulling it off well.
Yeah.
Because it's parody stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean... Well, the best is, too... And it's just proving how stupid fucking some people are on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. People took it seriously. He put up a video where he put the comments for people who were like, I think he might be faking it, guys.
He put up 2 videos. Two separate videos. Because the one video is Minecraft 3D. It's obviously some game maker or some Unity or some kind of kit some guy made. It's nothing like Minecraft, because Minecraft's not easy to make or whatever, relatively. And people, he's like playing it, and it's obviously not Minecraft. And everyone's like, that's not Minecraft. Like, no shit, it's not Minecraft.
You should be ashamed.
What a fucking jerk. And then the one where he's obviously pretending to be scared in the horror game. The scare cam one. And people are like...
It's not actually that scary.
You're faking it. Like, yes! No fucking shit, he's faking it, you fool! What's the matter with you?
I played this and I don't see what the big deal is.
So fucking stupid. I just hate the internet. But that said, please like and subscribe.
That said, here's some plugs for our internet things.
You fucking nerds. Anyway, Final Fantasy 12. Which I ROM-hacked. While watching a cooking mama let's play.
And there we have it.
Are we done?
I think so.
Alright.
Let's plug our stuff.
Oh.
So, I'm on Twitter, at @Beatus, _Beatus. I'm on Twitch, _Beatus.
You waited 26 episodes to do that?
I think the idea is you're supposed to repeat your plugs.
Oh, okay.
Every time.
Oh, I see. Alright, then.
So force people to follow you.
Okay. I'm at slowbeef. Starting a Police Knots Let's Play soon. I'm sure you'll see it on Something Awful.
No, you won't. No.
Well,
That's not going to happen.
Alright.
Okay. Sayonara.